Well, hello friends, I'm here in Kharkiv, in its largest residential neighborhood known as Saltovka. This is where I was born and raised, and behind me you can see the typical apartment blocks of the area, which fortunately haven't been affected by the war. Residents here still enjoy conveniences like gas, water and central heating. But just a 10-minute drive away at the northern edge of this neighborhood, it's a very different story. Most homes have been destroyed there, and some say people are struggling without basic necessities like electricity and water. So I'm gonna jump on a tram now and head to North Saltovka, the area which defended Kharkiv from occupation in 2022. Let's see what life is like there today. So I'm waiting for a tram. All public transport in Kharkiv is free. Our city mayor stepped in, helping people moving around the city more easily. I guess we are the only city in Ukraine where you can take any kind of public transit for free. So it's a good thing, but it's obviously because of the war. So mixed feelings about it. The war in Kharkiv doesn't affect every neighborhood equally. Some areas are hit more often, but the entire city remains under constant threat. For many residents, the war is experienced mainly through sounds: air raid sirens followed by explosions and the sight of smoke in the sky. There isn't widespread destruction, so in some areas it's easy to feel disconnected from the reality of the conflict. I know people who avoid reading the news to protect their mental health. It's like out of sight, out of mind. Yesterday I heard an explosion nearby. We don't usually get specific addresses for safety reasons, just the neighborhood name and photos of the strike. The area hit yesterday is on my way to North Saltovka, so I decided to take a closer look. A guided glide bomb hit yesterday night this 5-story block of flats. And now, as you can see, a lot of city services, they're just cleaning up everything. And I could see that they brought some cheap boards because everything is blowing out, that they will cover windows with cheap boards. And probably some people try to save their belongings. People are helping however they can, offering things like hot drinks and basic supplies to make sure everyone has what they need right away. Volunteers are stepping in with food and medication, mostly through international groups like the United Nations or Nova Ukraine, an American aid organization. Even a couple of teachers from the nearby kindergarten brought over what they had from the kitchen. But when it comes to housing for people whose apartments were damaged or destroyed, things get more complicated. We often hear people complain about the long lines and how unlikely it is that you'll get a new place anytime soon. Usually the blast wave blows out windows in nearby apartment blocks too. As a temporary fix, they cover everything with cheap boards. Thank God no one was killed in this strike.
Я живу уже около 47 лет во Франции. Прадед и дедушка
Но вы родились в
Да,
Харькове,
да,
да?
да, да. В 22-й год мои друзья французы и я приехали сюда помогать вашему городу, защищать город Харьков. Это мой тоже родной город, не только как Франция. Вот. И я могу сказать о том, что 7 человек с легионера Франции погибло, а я...
Different people, different stories. I don't judge those who fled Ukraine to save their lives, but some have actually come back even if they were abroad before the war. There is something interesting about the guy we met. He said he was the cousin of a city's mayor, and I believe him because he looked just like him. I didn't want to pry into personal matters, but it seemed like they weren't really in touch.
Я отделался о том, что я получил контузию, и удар меня подкинуло где-то, наверное, на 30 сантиметров, и повыбивало здесь все. И меня отправили опять в Киев, с Киева меня во Францию, с Франции в Иерусалим восстанавливать. Сейчас я немножко лучше.
Пока не получимся на видео.
That was a tough scene. That probably was the first time when I saw everything right after the strike, when all the services and people and volunteers were there. Because when it's out of sight, you still feel disconnected. You read news, but it's kinda somewhere far away from you. I definitely got emotional, but thank God no one was killed. So yeah, it is still not very safe there. We're heading further north, closer to the edge of Kharkiv, to visit the northernmost neighborhood near the Kharkiv Ring Road. On the way I'll show you some spots that have been impacted. Right now I'm walking through an area with shopping malls, which are usually found at the outskirts of cities in Ukraine. If you look to the left, everything seems normal, business as usual. But then, if you glance to the right, there is clear destruction. It's moments like this that feel surreal to me. Kharkiv now is full of these contrasts, where everything can seem fine in one direction and completely different in the other. Behind me is what once was a DIY store. It was a huge DIY store. It was well known among all the residents of Saltovka, and I used to visit it all the time. In May of this year, it was hit by 2 guided bombs. The building caught fire, and the scariest part that both customers and staff, they were inside, they were trapped. Now it looks like a set of ruins, and as we are moving further north, closer to the Kharkiv Ring Road, we're gonna see more and more unpleasant changes. I completely mess up my route. I should have taken a bus, but instead I hop on a tram, and now I need to make a connection, and I was told that there is a bus station hidden inside a market. So, friends, we found ourselves on an unexpected visit in Saltovka market. Ukraine has marvelous soils. We have a lot of fruits and vegetables. Ukraine used to be a breadbasket to the entire Soviet Union. Wow, friends, check out this bus to the village of Tsirkuny. Wow. This is the first time in my life I've seen anything like this. So this is my bus to North Saltovka. We are in North Saltovka. Kharkiv has a lot of neighborhoods to explore. And the city center looks very different from what you are seeing now. A lot of neighborhoods actually haven't been really affected by the war. But I know that a lot of people who watch this channel are interested in what life is like during the war, especially in areas close to the front lines. So this is the reason I'm here. When the invasion started, the Russian forces managed to reach the Kharkiv Ring Road. And this neighborhood is very close to the Ring Road, which is why it was affected so much. So let's try to explore a little bit and see what life is like here today. I don't know, friends, if you can hear how quiet it is here. A lot of families probably have left for safety, and there are not a lot of people here. When I do meet people, it's mostly senior citizens like babushkas and dedushkas. They stayed behind for understandable reasons. Oops, stairs. Because they often just don't have resources or health or even willingness to leave their homes. Moving abroad for them, in most cases, is a very distant reality. So they just keep living here, hoping for the best. I bet it was a lovely place when it was fine. Bad luck, a doomed location, and too close to the Russian border. That's what people say about North Saltovka here. Around 500 apartment blocks are likely to be demolished, and the damage is too severe, beyond restoration. Blown out windows, bullet holes everywhere, and piles of rubble. The area feels almost abandoned. Yet, remnants of life can still be seen. You might spot a few people walking with strollers or heading to the local shop. It looks like looters tried to clear out kiosks and abandoned cars, which is not surprising. Well, friends, I met a friendly guy, Dima.
Hi.
He thought I was measuring radiation because my camera looks weird to him. So he knows this area better than me, and he was nice enough to be a sort of a guy and just show around a little bit. A lot of people who live here, pensioners in particular, they are like super vulnerable. There is not a lot of some social programs that would help them. So for instance, we just met a woman who was just going through trash, and we just approached her and said, maybe you need something. And usually people like older generation, they are very, very humble. And she was like, no, I don't need anything. And I could see that her eyes was like teary, and we said like, well, it's a situation when you don't have to be shy about something. So she said that she's struggling even with some food. Myself and Dima are heading to some supermarket to buy some groceries for this woman. So we bought some sausages, some canned fish, sugar, buckwheat, rice, condensed milk, and some cheese. Ничего страшного. Ага, все, спасибо большое, до свидания.
Вот и я вам продукты чуть-чуть.
Здоровья. Ого.
I have a lot of exercises here. This area is full of stairs. Wow, what a view! Beautiful. I actually don't know if they have a lot of these green spaces before the war, but now it looks like the Mother Nature is winning. Look at this. Wow, what a day, guys. We made it to the very edge of Kharkiv. Behind this open field is the ring road, and according to my Google Maps, it's a 20-minute drive from here to village of Liptsi, where Ukrainian and Russian armies are fighting for Ukrainian land. I think that's it for this trip around North Saltovka. Let's continue to hope for the best for people who live here. They suffered more than anyone in Kharkiv. Let's keep them in our thoughts. And thanks for watching this video, guys. And take care.